You all? Okay.
I'm live.
All right, are y'all ready? Everybody ready?
Yes, we are.
Okay, good afternoon.
Alright, can I get a mic check from you really quickly?
Check, check.
Okay, so, yeah.
Okay,
Give me just 1 second. Guys.
so,
We're going, guys.
okay, we're here to wrap up the homicide case from earlier in the week, or over the weekend. And yesterday we obtained warrants and made 2 arrests on 2 individuals from South Florida. And one of them is named Abel, and the other one is Arahu, or Araho, however you pronounce it. And they're charged with second-degree murder and tampering with evidence. And they're currently being held on no bond, and probably in the next few days we'll be bringing it back to Franklin County.
Can you tell us exactly what happened?
Yes, they were passing through the community, and there were 3 of them, and I'm not going to mention the victim's name yet because we have not notified her next of kin. So that name won't be mentioned, and as soon as we notify the next of kin, we'll let you know. But they were traveling through town, stopped at a local motel, and at some point over their stay, there was an altercation in the room, and she was beaten to death.
So the 3 of them, the 2 individuals who have been arrested and the young lady were traveling together, is that
Yes,
correct?
That's correct.
And they had an altercation in a motel room?
That's correct.
What happened? How was the arrest? How did they find out what happened?
Well, we received a teletype from South Florida for anybody to be on the lookout for anybody that had been dumped on the side of the road in North Florida. So our investigators got that information, and then we contacted Palm Beach County where the information came from, and they had a source down there who had given them the information because they had talked to one of the suspects, and that's how we got a break in the case.
Where exactly was the body found?
I'll give you the address in a minute. It's east of East Point,
Which hotel was it?
Sportsman's Lodge.
And is the victim also from South Florida? Or
Yes. Yeah. They have no local ties here. They were just traveling back from Texas, and they spent the weekend here, and so no ties here, and not involving anybody in our community.
Do we know how long she was deceased before she was found?
Not many hours. I mean, she had been there. They left sometime early Monday morning, and discarded her body in this paved road that was going to be a subdivision east of East Point, and just dumped her body on the side of the road.
I know we don't have a name yet, but would we be able to know her age?
No, I'm not going to mention anything about her. One thing, we worked on it all day yesterday. FDLE was tremendous in what they did. Their crime lab made 2 trips down here. First when we recovered the body, second when we had to do the crime scene on the room where the murder occurred, and they did a tremendous job. Their agents also helped, and that was one of the things that helped us bring this to a quick closure, is that once we identified the suspects, FDLE had their agents on the location in South Florida. So as soon as they moved, we picked them up, and we actually had the warrants in our hand when they started to leave the house. They were actually going to flee the country, and so we picked them up very rapidly and had a good conclusion to a very sad case.
Can you tell us how she was initially found and what time you responded to the scene?
It was almost 5 o'clock on Monday afternoon.
And then you said that the suspects were arrested at a house.
Yes.
What did they stay at this house? Was this someone that they knew in the area?
No, house in South Florida.
The house in South Florida.
Yeah, they were arrested in South Florida. Yeah, when they left here, they dumped her body and then went south, where they're all from.
You know which jail they're being held in?
Probably Broward County, because that's where the arrest occurred.
Do you have any comments for the community about their safety or?
Well, just like I said, they have no relationship to anybody in the community. They were just traveling through on Scenic 98, decided it was a nice place to stay. They actually had dinner at a restaurant. We have some film from there, but a lot of it is the community's safe. We wrapped this crime up very quickly because a lot of hard work from FDLE and from the investigators with the sheriff's office. We had people on it. I was on it. FDLE had many agents on it, so a lot of resources went into it to bring it to a successful conclusion. And you know, we heard a lot of people. They wanted information, but what we try to get people to understand is when we give information on an active case, it can compromise the case. And if we had talked about it sooner, these people probably would have left the country, and we wouldn't be where we are now with them in custody and a case wrapped up that was very sad and very horrific. Her death was a very horrific death.
And so were the arrests made last night at around what time?
Probably about 7:30. Our local judge signed the warrants, and then it really all happened right about the same time because they were leaving about the time we got the warrants signed.
Which judge?
Judge Russell here in town. They performed the autopsy today. I don't have any results of that. That'll be a while. And actually the car is being brought back to be the car that they traveled in, and disposed the body is being brought back and will be analyzed by FDLE at the crime lab in Tallahassee.
What type of car was it?
Just a small car.
Do we have any information on the relationships between the suspects and the
Well, they were all friends. They all, we think, they knew each other. Yes. Any other questions?
Is there anything else that you can tell us about the victim?
No. As soon as we notify the next of kin, I will be happy to give you her information and talk to you about her a little bit. But I really, like I said, I would, out of respect to the family, want to make sure that we keep her name out of the press until we can notify our family. And we're actually actively doing that right now. We're trying to find them. We've had a little trouble locating them, so that's why there's a hold up with that.
And can you give the suspects' names again?
Yeah, Zachary Abel, and a Christina Arahu.
Do you think there was any way to prevent this from happening?
We know that's a great question, but I don't know if you could, when you have three people together. From what we understand, they may have been consuming alcohol, so they were probably drinking. So I don't know how you would prevent it. We wish we could have.
Were there any weapons involved?
Possibly, yes. No firearms, but some other weapons, because she was beaten very severely.
Can you tell us at all any information on the injuries?
Sustained a lot of injuries to her head and face. That was the main injuries.
And then charges that the suspects are now facing?
Second-degree murder and tampering with evidence. Okay.
Anything you'd like to add?
That's it. Thank you for your patience. I know that y'all been wanting to get the story, and I appreciate you just hanging with us while we